I am Royal Master Kwon Yuri. It's nice to meet you all. Yes. Today, many people have joined us here as well. I heard that a lot of people have come from overseas again. Whenever I come to the Sunset Academy, it feels like I'm traveling abroad. Sometimes, yes, it even feels like there are more people from overseas than from Korea. But I'd like to start by welcoming everyone who's here today. How old do I look these days? I just don't ask that question. People keep guessing my age correctly, so it's a bit embarrassing. I'm 28 years old this year. I'm still in my 20s. So when did I start Atomy? I started Atomy when I was 20. When I first came to an Atomy seminar like you all, I was actually preparing for my college entrance exams. I spent that time attending both college admissions briefings and Atomy business presentations. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? At that time, I had a lot on my mind. I had just changed my major and I realized that just going to college didn't guarantee a job. Plus, while attending Atomy seminars, I met countless adults, by my standards, over and over again. They all said they were starting Atomy again in their 50s and 60s. So I started to wonder, how long can a single career really last? I found myself thinking about that a lot. Now, there are moments when I feel truly grateful for those realizations. So during that period of contemplation, I had several criteria for choosing Atomy. The first was whether the work I'm doing now could remain as part of my career in the future, and whether this experience would help me do other things well. That's what I hope for. And secondly, even these days, I'm not often in Korea. That's because I really enjoy living abroad. So I thought, I wish I could have a job that would allow me to live abroad freely, something with a bit more freedom. Among those criteria, I considered various jobs, but I didn't know enough to say that Atomy was definitely good. But I think it wouldn't be bad to try Atomy. Atomy, because the products were good. Since I was also a consumer who knew that, I felt confident enough to go out and talk about it, so I boldly chose Atomy and quit college. A lot of people, including my sponsors, many Atomy members, and even my mother and father, were in an uproar. They said, even if you do Atomy 4 years later, you'll still only be 24, so why do you have to do it right now? But I couldn't afford to delay, and I wondered if I used my parents' retirement funds to keep attending college instead of doing Atomy, would there really be any benefit? That just wasn't the case, so I made the bold decision. So fortunately, and I'm very grateful, as time went by, I learned a lot from Atomy, and now that my Atomy business is going well, even though 8 years have passed, I'm still working hard with Atomy. So that's my introduction, and I believe many of you have also made the choice to be here today. You really made a big decision to come here. At times like this, each of you will have your own standards. So for those of you who are currently looking into Atomy, those who are here for the first time today, and everyone else, I've organized 4 criteria that I hope you'll consider when making your decision. So let's go through these 4 together. The first is the management. The second is the products. The third is the compensation plan. And the fourth is the system. I'm going to talk to you about these 4 things now. Let's take a look at the first one together. If you look at the photo in front of you, this is a picture of Chairman Park Han-gil. The way the chairman runs Atomy is called Jongseon Sangriyak. I first heard this term after coming to Atomy. I wondered, is this an existing 4-character idiom that I just didn't know about? I definitely learned Chinese characters, didn't I? But it turns out it means that honesty and goodness are the best strategy. The chairman explained it and created this phrase. I think it's really, really impressive. At first I didn't realize it, but the more I learn about Atomy, the more I'm moved by how a company can uphold this principle while doing business. As you can see, we are now receiving a lot of recognition even within the same industry. People say that Atomy is rewriting the history of network marketing and that it's running its business exceptionally well. Atomy is being recognized both within the company and throughout the industry like this. As an Atomy business owner, when I look at Atomy and the materials provided by Atomy, you might think, well, of course you say that because it's your company. You could think that way, right? So I'm going to show you how other companies and outsiders view Atomy and talk about that as well. For the first time in the industry, and for 3 consecutive times, Atomy has been certified for consumer-centered management. This is known as the CCM mark. You can see this mark on Atomy's website and on their products. In addition to that, Atomy has received various other awards, and we continue to be recognized for doing an excellent job as we move forward. And it's not just the company's management. If you look here, our CEO has also been recognized for outstanding leadership, being selected as the most respected CEO for 5 consecutive years. Our chairman is someone admired not only by our business partners, but also by all our employees and partner companies alike. When I first started with Atomy and attended a seminar, I saw so many people following the chairman around, almost like he was a celebrity. I was honestly really surprised. But after I started working in this business myself, I finally understood why. He truly is someone who inspires genuine respect and gratitude. I hope you all also take the time to really consider what kind of person he is. Maybe even wonder, is this person a fraud? I encourage you to judge for yourself based on your own standards. Atomy is a global distribution company. It's not just operating in Korea. As you can see from all the foreigners here, it's doing extremely well overseas too. In fact, I travel abroad a lot, and wherever Koreans go, they're usually welcomed in most countries. Right now, the Korean wave is incredibly strong, and Korean beauty is no joke. It's really something. So, Atomy. Among its products, there are especially many beauty products. Everyone really loves them. As a result, we've now reached 230 billion won in sales and are continuing to surpass that. In fact, with 26 subsidiaries open, you can now do business in a variety of countries. And since people from 114 neighboring countries can also sign up, that means you can use the products right at home. It's really, really amazing. In the past, traveling abroad was so difficult for me because I had to pack only the products I use, even before Atomy. So I used to pack everything up and always worried about going over the baggage weight limit while carrying it all around. But ever since I started with Atomy, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Because now I can just place an order in advance. You just go there and use that. So it's incredibly convenient, and it's also great to carry Atomy products around. I hope you all can see this as a key point, that so many people are now going abroad like this. Yes, and there was also some unfortunate news. Because of the massive wildfires, many people have suffered losses in their lives, and there are also many who lost their lives while trying to rescue others. When Atomy heard this news, we turned to our culture of sharing and giving through donations. So, to help with this, there is an SOS relief organization made up of our members. From there, we came together with good intentions, hoping to share our concerns and deliver hope that things would turn out well. When we discussed this, the chairman heard about it and, wanting to give even a little hope to the families of the firefighters and rescue workers who lost their lives in the line of duty, donated the large sum of 10 billion won. It's an enormous amount of money. Has anyone here ever received 10 billion won? I would really appreciate it if you could give a big round of applause. Honestly, I felt so proud. On top of that, there were 3.5 billion won worth of, yes, even relief supplies, many of which were Atomy products. They provided a lot of great things as support. And as I mentioned, it all started with our SOS Sharing Association. Within the Sharing Association as well, members like you, the staff who prepared today's seminar, and all the products we receive, including our partner companies, we were able to raise a total of 100 million won. But when we added the 100 million won that had already been raised by SOS, we were able to donate a total of 200 million won. Everyone! This was all thanks to you. Yes. So as a leader who takes the initiative with this kind of spirit, and as members who always follow along, we can all feel incredibly proud. I hope you can often share just how proud it is to use Atomy products. The second standard is the product. This is a part I really, really love. Are you still using Atomy products? I've actually heard this a lot. Why is that? Because in order to travel abroad, how many times do I stop somewhere in a year? I stop by the duty-free shop, but honestly, there's nothing I want to buy. So I always cut it close with my flight times. Yes, because there's nothing for me to do there. That's how much I still love Atomy products. Even whether I have money or not, I use them so diligently, and if I don't have them, it's really inconvenient for me. Currently, you can use over 600 different products on the Atomy shopping mall. When I first started with Atomy, surprisingly, there weren't even 100 products. I started with Atomy when there really weren't that many products available, but now there are so many that I have so much to use and I love it. Yes. The slogan of our Atomy products is absolute quality, absolute price. If you go outside and say this to someone you don't know, they might think you've been completely swept up by Atomy. Instead, you could say that we select good products and distribute them to consumers at reasonable prices. I think that would be a good way to put it. So we use the term masstige, which refers to mass prestige products. You can think of Atomy products as premium goods that are accessible to everyone. As for Atomy, we now have overwhelming customer satisfaction. Truly overwhelming. Why is that? You can see it by looking at our return rate. We currently have a return rate in the 0% range. Among the top 10 network marketing companies, we have consistently maintained the lowest return rate. So when it comes to products like these, I hope you'll try them out while thinking, should I return this or not? Let me briefly talk about the products. Honestly, I could talk about Atomy products for over 4 hours here, even though you might get tired standing here wearing these shoes. But I won't do that because it would be too exhausting for you. So I'll just talk about two things. The first one is Hemohim. I myself experienced the effects of Atomy products, and that's why I'm working so hard in the Atomy business now. If the products weren't good, I would never have done Atomy, because I don't have any talent for sales. But even if I didn't say anything about Atomy Hemohim, I saw so many effects that people became interested just by seeing the changes in me. One of my nicknames was actually the Walking General Hospital. Yes, my physical strength used to be that bad, but after taking Hemohim, I really saw a lot of improvement in many areas. The reason that's possible is because Hemohim doesn't just boost immunity, it actually improves immune function. So, if 100 people take Hemohim, all 100 can experience benefits in the areas where their bodies are lacking. It's that kind of product. In fact, before Hemohim, there was no product like this, which is why it received the first individually recognized immune function certification. That's why Hemohim is still a steady seller and continues to sell extremely well. I really hope you try Hemohim for yourself and see the effects firsthand. The second product is a skincare item. Our beauty brand, Atomy, is really famous, right? Yes, when you think of Atomy, you think of Hemohim, and when you think of Hemohim, you think of Atomy, but these days, a lot of people also know Atomy for its blue bottle ampule. It's called Absolute. Among the products, I personally like the toner and the ampule the most. So for the blue bottle ampule, this is how I apply it. 1 dropperful on the left side, 1 dropperful on the right side, and 1 dropperful on the neck. These days, I've noticed wrinkles forming on my neck too. As I've gotten older, I definitely didn't have wrinkles before. Yeah. Oh, and among my partners, there are people who have been using Atomy products for over 10 years. Yes, and the person who has been using it for over 10 years is actually here today, the general manager. She has fewer neck wrinkles than I do. I'm not sure if I should say this, but honestly, I always say that consistent use is better than any procedure. So the reason this product is so effective and inevitably famous is because it has even received the King Sejong Award. This product, but what exactly did it win the King Sejong Award for? Good ingredients. Of course, the ingredients are good. There are plenty of products that have won awards for having good ingredients, but that's not it. It's the targeted technology, whether it's for wrinkles, elasticity, or brightening. The patented, targeted technology that addresses those specific concerns is what won the award. So you'll realize, wow, my skin can really improve this much just by using it consistently. I'm confident that you'll be able to feel that when you use this product. Yes. So I've briefly explained these two things to you, but since there are many other products as well, I hope you'll try them out and really consider whether you can talk about these products as a consumer because you genuinely like them, not just because it's your job. Please make sure to think about the product quality. The third is the compensation plan. A compensation plan is basically the structure by which you receive money. The reason I can confidently say that anyone can start, even if you don't have skills, experience, or capital, is precisely because of this compensation plan that Atomy offers. I can't explain the entire compensation plan in detail today, so I ask you all a favor. Please make sure to attend the one-day seminar. There, you'll find a lecture on the marketing plan. Yes. If you look, you'll see that there are no business entry fees, maintenance fees, or referral commissions. Isn't that something to be really grateful for? If there had been a sign-up fee, I wouldn't have been able to start with Atomy because I didn't have any money. There are people who say, I don't have anything to do, but every time I hear that, I really had nothing. I always say, I started Atomy right after graduating from high school. It's not like I had any capital. I honestly didn't even have bus fare. Even someone like me was able to join Atomy. And by sharing this information, I used the products myself, and as people under me also started using the products, that's how I was able to grow like this. And because there are no maintenance fees or referral commissions, anyone can continue as a member and still enjoy the benefits as a consumer. And as for Atomy, the idea that it's too late to start now is simply not true. I can tell you that I'm wrong. It's absolutely not too late to start now. You just need to start now. But if you don't start, nothing will happen. So the reason you should definitely get started is because there is a ceiling. This ceiling means that there is a limit. Even though Imperial Nim has already far surpassed the ceiling, the commission is matched exactly the same as someone who has just crossed the ceiling. So the reason it's not too late to start now is precisely because of this compensation plan, and that's what I'm showing you. And then there's the rank bonus. You can think of it as a bonus given when you reach a certain rank. And the first rank is called Sales Master. If you gather only those people, imagine the pie as a circle. Half of it is set aside and divided among them. What's important about this? The sales masters who are just starting out are at the most challenging stage, and this compensation plan is designed so that they can pursue Atomy as a business. I think it's best to understand it that way. As I mentioned, Atomy is a global company, and while it might be a bit easier for Koreans since the headquarters is here, honestly, it's not all that different. Why is that? Because you can have someone join in Korea, then someone under them join in Japan, then under them in Europe, then in the US, and then again in Korea under that. They can all be mixed together, and all sales are consolidated into one through what's called a global one-server system. So you can truly witness a global integration. And when we talk about unlimited levels and unlimited accumulation, you often hear people mention first generation, second generation, and so on. That's because Atomy uses a two-line binary system, so it's structured like this. Within that structure, nothing gets cut off. For example, if I buy a toothbrush at the very bottom, the points from that purchase go all the way up and accumulate even for our first Imperial Master, meaning the very first business partner who became an Imperial Master. So if there were no ceiling, as I mentioned earlier, it might be too late to start now, but I want to emphasize that's not the case, because the points accumulate infinitely. When I first heard about this, someone said this to me. They said, if the commissions keep increasing, won't the company eventually be unable to pay them? That was their concern. But you really don't need to worry about that at all. So I wanted to tell you that you can do the Atomy business globally in so many different ways, and because of this, a lot of young entrepreneurs are showing great interest in Atomy. Yes, I think the most ideal scenario is when Korea and overseas are properly mixed together. And actually, there are a lot of people from overseas in Korea as well. So I hope you can recruit people from various countries and succeed in both your overseas and Korean businesses. Yes, and the fourth point is the company-run success system. I really think this part is extremely important. When did I realize the importance of this system? It was when COVID hit. Yes, when COVID came, there used to be so many systems running every week, but suddenly, in a moment I thought would never happen, all the seminars disappeared completely. So in the past, Good Morning Atomy was only held once a month, but then they started doing it every week. I was so grateful for that. Now it has become a regular thing. Back then, I really felt it. I've often said how hard it was without this system, but just imagine, I had to keep giving seminars myself, preparing everything, setting up the chairs here, putting them away, cleaning up, checking the entrance for people, making sure there were no safety accidents. I had to do all of that myself. Just think how exhausting that must have been. And on top of that, I still had to give lectures. So imagine how much harder it was. I realized just how incredibly important this system is. I understood that I needed to work at a company that had established such a good system. That's what I learned back then. So as you can see, Atomy offers a variety of prepared systems, not just things like the Success Academy. The Success Academy, it's a place that provides a vision for success. And there's also the one-day seminar, which I briefly mentioned earlier. There, they systematically explain the marketing plan, the vision, and the products. The content is easy enough for anyone coming for the first time to understand, so I hope you make good use of it. And there's also Good Morning Atomy, where you can get the latest news and updates about Atomy every Monday before anyone else. Now, for those of you who use Good Morning Atomy, if you listen to it together at the center rather than alone, you'll find it easier to focus. So you can make use of it that way. Oh, I don't have time for that. Or if you have to go to work, you can still watch it on YouTube during your commute. So I recommend you check out the latest product news and Atomy's recent good deeds while watching. And recently, there's also the Atomy Business College. What this means is that we listen to a lot of lectures, right? Online lectures. So these days, regardless of age, if there's something you want to learn, you can learn it from YouTube, which is a great teacher. But there are also many portals where lectures are collected separately. So you can learn by listening to lectures there, and you can study Atomy in the same way. First, it would be good to learn the basic professional knowledge and then sit here and listen as well. I've gotten so used to Atomy that I didn't realize it, but sometimes some of the terms can be a bit difficult. Recently, I realized this, and I thought that getting familiar with these terms beforehand and then listening to the lectures would be a really good approach. So these days, the lectures don't just cover things like the current economic situation or how to overcome economic challenges from the perspective of Atomy business people or experts, but they also feature professionals from those fields. I hope you make good use of these well-crafted lectures. There are also programs like this that can help you succeed. And furthermore, there are even lectures prepared that go into more detailed aspects. There's something called the Sosohan class, which is held once a month. What is this? It means a class where consumption becomes income. In the Sosohan class, you can hear more detailed information about specific products. These seminars are organized together with business owners and experts so you can learn useful tips for using the products, what ingredients are in them, and what makes them competitive. I really hope you'll take part in them. There's also something called NA-EQ, which stands for I am also an Atomy curator. Atomy members play a role similar to that of a curator. What is a curator? When you go to an art museum, there's someone who talks with you, observes your preferences, and then selects which artworks would suit you best. That's what a curator does. An Atomy curator is someone who helps select which good products are right for you. That's the role of an Atomy curator. So, what should an Atomy business partner do? If you ask me that, I'd say you just need to play the role of a curator. So, to help you become an Atomy curator, I share the knowledge I've learned and am still learning. There are various curriculums for this. For example, there's a curriculum for shampoo, and there are also programs for becoming a meeting expert or even instructor training courses. In addition, whenever new or excellent products are released, we provide specialized knowledge so that you can use Atomy information as a powerful tool, and we continue to offer education for this purpose. Make good use of these two things. After all, we need to know something. That's why we keep talking about it. The reason we keep attending seminars is to gain more knowledge. Only then will your mind overflow and burst, and words will naturally come out of your mouth. So I hope you make good use of these, and for those of you who really want to do business well, want to do it quickly, and want to enjoy it, there is a business seminar available for people like you. Yes, although the seminar is mainly for those with certain positions, a variety of people can take advantage of it. In this business seminar, we make sure to explain how you can do business. When I first started with Atomy, what was difficult for me was that since I had never worked in society before, even speaking was hard for me. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Finding it hard to talk. How could that be difficult? But talking to a friend, talking to an acquaintance, talking to an adult, and talking to a customer, all of those are so different. So I learned a lot about how even a single word can make a difference, not just from reading books, but especially through the training I received at Atomy seminars. So for all of you as well, those opportunities to learn such things. Right now, instead of other books, you can learn through this business seminar prepared by Atomy. So I hope you make good use of it. So I've just talked about Atomy's 4 different selection criteria. A lot of you ask me about Atomy. How can I succeed? Thankfully, many people say that I'm a young person who managed to succeed in a short period of time. I thought about it, and I think this is the reason. What was my previous occupation? I used to be a student. I was so used to sitting for long periods. Fortunately, I was healthy, my knees didn't go numb, and my back didn't hurt. So I just sat here and kept listening. I listened over and over again, continuously. Talking about Atomy was really hard for me too. The word atoms Ija doesn't fit well into the word baby. So what do? I just couldn't bring myself to say, I work at Atomy. I couldn't even say Atomy, and I didn't really know what it was either. But as I just stayed and kept listening, at first, I was finally able to start talking by discussing the products. Then, as I got to know the company, I began to talk about its good deeds, the admirable qualities of the management that I mentioned earlier, and I even started sharing all the footsteps of the chairman, someone I can truly say I respect. You might think that since I'm young, I would have been quick to focus on the money. But that wasn't the case for me. The compensation plan was actually the last thing for me. So as I listened to the compensation plan, I think it was about 1.5 years later that I finally thought, wow, this is really amazing. When my partner started receiving commissions and began the business with me, at some point I realized, oh, it's not just me earning commissions. Atomy really is a place where everyone can succeed together. That's what I felt from the compensation plan. So from that moment on, I started saying, you have to do Atomy. Why? Because there's a compensation plan. That's how I started talking about it. So even though these realizations don't come right from the beginning, as you keep accumulating information, you'll definitely be able to talk about it too. That's why I say, sit and learn like a student, and a student needs to choose their teacher well. Which teacher will you choose? Who was my teacher? It was Chairman Park Hangul, who always gives lectures so passionately. Yes. So I listened carefully to what my teacher said, followed diligently, and whenever I was given a mission, though it wasn't given only to me, I would go out and try it. If I got hurt or discouraged out there, I would come back, try again in the same way, listen again, and I repeated this process endlessly. So what I want to tell all of you is about Atomy. It's not an easy thing at all. Because making money is involved. Of course it's not easy, but anyone can definitely start, and worrying doesn't really help much. So don't worry about whether you should do the business or just be a consumer. I think you should just go ahead and do it. If you just start and keep going, the path will reveal itself. Am I a consumer or am I a business person? As you go along, the answer will come to you. Then at that point, you can try it out again. You might think I'm making it sound too easy, but think back to when you were 20. Not your 20s, but specifically when you were 20. At 20, working in network marketing, which involves dealing with countless people, I really struggled. But the only reason I got to where I am now is because even though I had no skills, no capital, and no experience, I just endured, evolved, and kept challenging myself. As for all of you who have more capital, more experience, and more ability than I did, you can definitely take that path more easily and in a much shorter time within this seminar. So I hope you will have courage, be confident, and really give it your all until the end. With that, I will conclude today's lecture. Thank you.